everybody, and you're very welcome to this, our third session of Conversations with Special Olympics Ireland. This evening, I'm very lucky to be joined by 5 of our coaches from the 5 different regions, and also by one of the Regional Development Officers for Sport, John McNaboe, who's based in our office in Sligo in the Connacht region. Online for a conversation with us today, we have Deborah Mcardle, who is a coach and a basketball table official. But her latest adventure is being with our young athletes in the Donabate Portrane Special Olympics Club. We have Lee Campbell, who is Special Olympics Ulster, but more importantly Newton Abbey Racers at heart. And she's putting out a live session every Wednesday night. In the centre we have Angie Griffin, who is, from when I met her first, was a gymnastics coach going to Abu Dhabi with our team. But since she's gone to fame with our young athletes in the Galway region on a Saturday morning. And on the right hand side I have Mary Donoghue, who is with the Navan Arts Club, who do probably every sport we've ever offered at this stage. I won't say she's a jack of all trades, because her loves really are basketball and table tennis. And she has a huge club over there. I can't even remember how many numbers you have now, Mary, but you operate a couple of days a week. And we're also joined, unfortunately, with no camera, is Pauline Nugent. And Pauline is with the Ormond Special Olympics Club in Neenah in County Tip. And their main sport is athletics. So you're all very welcome this evening to, we're going to call Conversations with SO. John and myself have a couple of things that we'd like to talk to you about, but I think everybody else is going to be interested as well. So I don't know, whoever wants to start, we're not fussy. Tell us a little bit about your coaching background, or how you got involved in SO in the first place. Don't all rush.
Go ahead, sure, I'll start.
You start, okay, Lee. Great.
Okay. I've been coaching with Newton Abbey Racers from 2007, so it was a year into their course going. Started out as a general volunteer. My first sort of interaction was playing Duck Duck Goose with some of the young athletes. I have then went ahead and got my full athletics coach, and I have got to 2 Ireland Games, and I was recently at the World Summer Games as well.
Okay, great. Deborah?
I started in the Special Olympics way back in 1985. I volunteered in the European Games and then fell off, and then until 2003 when I did table official, and then we went on to establish a table officials course that was to include athletes as table officials. We've since gone on, we have that all over the country, and we've gone on to 2 World Games, bringing athletes as table officials to World Games. Then when I've always wanted to set up a Special Olympics club in the area, and I was approached to try and start one up at the Young Athletes Club, and that's how I started a Young Athletes Club in the area, and that's gone from strength to strength. We've now got 59 athletes on board, and we have a waiting list of around 10 at the moment to come on, and we have about 60 volunteers signed up with our club. So we have 3 sessions on a Saturday morning for the 3 kind of different age groups on Saturday morning. So that's where we are at the moment.
Amazing. Jeepers, that's some achievement in a very short space of time. Mary?
Okay, I got involved. I missed the World Games in 2003. I only came into Special Olympics the following year, but it was the best thing I ever did. It's just an amazing experience right through. Unfortunately, I don't have any children, but now I can say I have 130 kids who are just all amazing. And we do basketball, bowling, bocce, swimming, table tennis, right through. We do, and so many more. I've been to Abu Dhabi with the World Games. I'm a mentor with the Athletes Leadership Program, which is an amazing experience for both the athlete and the mentor, I can say. So I had lots of great opportunities doing that as well. So
Brilliant.
Great experience.
Huge experience you're bringing in. Angie, I think you've had a very coloured background in sport in general.
Yeah. Well, I played sport in school, but I come from more of a performing arts background. And when I got a little bit older, I joined the circus.
which I totally recommend for everybody. But I got involved in 2016 as a coach with Galway Special Olympics Gymnastics Club, and I'm still heavily involved with them. Don't ask me about numbers, because my agreement was I coach, but I will not do admin. So we've been doing that, and then was on the Connacht team for 2017, or went to Ireland Games for 2018, and then Abu Dhabi in 2019. So we're still doing the, obviously the clubs are all closed down now, but still heavily involved with the gymnastics. That's quite a big club now we have at the moment. So we're doing a bit of restructuring because we've got a new syllabus, and we're hoping then to introduce, because we mainly deal with artistic, so we're hoping then to introduce rhythmic into that as well. And then we're obviously the Young Athletes Club. We just set up their one in Galway in September just gone. So we're still a very small little young athlete. So when I heard Deborah's numbers, I was like, whoa! I was like, and again, my agreement is I coach. I do enough admin and work. I don't do admin in clubs. So I don't know the numbers.
Yeah, it's good to get away from the day job.
My Special Olympics journey started in the year 2000, I suppose, when I met a young lady who invited me to go and see the Ormond Club and what they did on a Saturday morning. And at that time there was 8 athletes, and over the sort of time I went there, I could see that there was a lot of potential for the athletes to sort of progress a little bit further than just sitting down and throwing a ball to each other. So we sort of developed it a little bit more into more of an athletics club, and now thankfully we have over 30 athletes. We're very, very well supported by the parents, and we have some registered volunteers as well. I suppose my journey started with going to the national games in 2002. I went as a coach chaperone for a young man who was doing basketball skills, and I was so shocked at the enormity of the organisation. And I suppose that's when I got hooked, really. So then I went as a coach chaperone for the World Games 2003 in athletics, and have sort of stayed with the Irish team since then until probably about 4 years ago, because as you get older you don't have so much energy and anyone that goes away with the national teams, you'll know that you need plenty of energy. Last year I did something with Special Olympics that I never thought would be possible, and that was going as an official for the athletics in Dubai. And that was the most wonderful experience, and it just seemed to be that sort of all the experience that you gain going through the Special Olympics program with all the athletes and coaches and you know, people in the offices and that, you just gain so much experience from everybody. And for me it was the most wonderful experience to be able to go there and officiate at the World Games. But I suppose locally the Ormond team, we're doing well. We're only doing athletics now, whereas we used to do basketball skills and swimming, but we're concentrating now on just athletics. And we've managed last year and the year before to get through a lot more of the parents have got through the athletics coaching course. So they're all registered volunteers and registered coaches now. So we're very lucky. We have seven qualified coaches in the club now. So we're in a very good position for going forward, I would say.
Certainly, and just listening to the 5 of you here on screen, it's just amazing to think that the amount of experience you have between you is absolutely amazing, and the length of time that some of you are involved as well. If we were to add up the years, I think we'd have to take off our shoes and our socks to count up all the years. Do you think that Special Olympics is a welcoming place for female coaches? Because we know sport can be quite male dominated.
Oh, I would say so. I would say so. When we ran the level 1 course, just before the last national games, I wanted to get so many more coaches through because we needed people that understood the rules, because with athletics, you do need to have coaches to be watching every aspect of the events, because obviously as a head coach, you can't see everything. So when the coaches are watching for you, they need to know all the rules, they need to know the ins and outs of everything. So I was determined to get a lot more coaches through before we went to the games. And we laid on a level 1 coaching course. And I would say that there was probably 75% of them would have been females. So I think in Munster region now with Special Olympics, we probably have more qualified female coaches than we do male coaches, which is a nice thing.
A nice shift. Has anybody else found anything different to that?
We struggle to get male.
Yeah, so do we.
Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting one.
I think for me, I just think Special Olympics is welcoming, to everyone. That's the whole thing about it.
So we have,
within us, we have parents who are deaf, we have parents who have physical disabilities, we have coaches who have physical disabilities and also have intellectual disabilities. And I just think that that's who we are, Special Olympics. We're just inclusive and welcoming to everybody.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I kind of found it as well that the nature of the organisation is that it's welcoming to everybody. I just kind of been in quite a female gymnastics, being quite female dominated, but we do have a lot of parents, and they'd be male, that would help us out, that kind of way. And when it came to the parents for the young athletes, is quite a well balanced group. Sometimes more daddies than mammies. But like that, both sets of parents would sign up and they'd take their turns as well. So
that's brilliant. I suppose this year we've seen the launch of the 2020 campaign from the Federation of Irish Sport, and that, I suppose, their aim really was to make females more visible on the sporting landscape in Ireland. Do you feel that you can contribute to that vision that they have of getting more involvement and more people visible in sport?
Absolutely, I'm going to take this one. Absolutely. No, I know kind of like in mainstream in gymnastics, we did a big push with 2020, and we were still doing it with women in sport, and we rippled that into the gymnastics as well. I think it's just unfortunate with the current climate, it has kind of put a complete dampener on it, because there was great momentum being built up with it. It was taken over as well with the schools in mainstream, kind of primary schools with their activity weeks. There was a lot of places getting involved. I do think they really need to go back and look at pay in sports. I think pay is excruciating. I know we're all volunteers and we do it for the love, but in general, pay in sport is quite bad. But I do think that there was a good push. I think it was building momentum, and I think it's just a pity that the current climate has derailed it, and hopefully they may do it again for 2021.
Yeah, obviously the branding around the 2020 was a super opportunity, but there's still hope that we'll get back to some level of activity in some sports before the end of the year. So hopefully they will get back on track with that. It would be good to see. I suppose in Special Olympics, our athletes display a huge range of abilities in their chosen sports. How difficult is that at local level? Do you have to change how you deliver a session? So in relation to the range of abilities in their chosen sports, how difficult is that for you at a local level? Do you have to change how you deliver any sessions?
I think that's just something you have to do as a coach. Really, it's all about being athlete-centered and trying to know what actually triggers that athlete. We may have to find new ways of creating things and very creative ways, but I just do think that's your responsibility as a coach.
Well, in the young athlete program now, it is all, a general sport. So we would be doing very much so across the board, skills and for the athletes that will feed into various different sports at some stage of their lives, So and hopefully that they will be various sports. They won't just home in on one sport, and that they will continue on to do very different sports, team sports and individual sports throughout their whole life. But the basis that we're doing and the drills and the sessions that we run are all the fundamentals of sport and play, so that's what we're doing. So hopefully that will give them a much more global, so that they'll be able to think of doing all different sports.
You'll see Pauline's got her video working here, which is great. Super.
That's the beauty I find with Special Olympics. There's no age limit, so that you'll find that, like, we in gymnastics, we'd kind of have quite a lot of our athletes that compete would be well able. Like, I mean, some of them are flipping off beams and spinning around bars, so that they'd be quite well able for it. But the great thing is you can watch an athlete go from, like, young athletes where they do all different types of drills and sports and learn the fundamentals and the basics, all the way up to whatever sport. And they do cross in sports as well. So we'd have a lot of girls that were doing gymnastics that were on the basketball team, and then they moved on to another team, and they all did swimming at some point. And that's what I find is the beauty about it. There is no age restriction. You don't kind of say, oh, you've reached your prime, goodbye, good luck. You can still keep going as long as you want. And I therefore think then it's a much more exciting path that our athletes will take.
Super. John, I think you have a couple of questions you want to come in on there.
Yeah, and I suppose, look, some excellent stuff there, and I think you all touched in terms of coaching and huge amount of experience. In terms of, I suppose, coach qualifications and courses and stuff like that, how important do you feel that is for your club or for your role in the club, that you are qualified and do the courses and keep upskilling, I suppose?
Well, I think it's really important to be upskilled. I think you should be affiliated as a coach to the national governing body of the sport if you are going to be involved in that sport. I have a background in basketball. I don't coach it per se. I coach it in the young athlete sessions, the basic drills. But if I was progressing that, I'd like to be what I am. But I want to be affiliated to the national governing body to know what's going on out there in the world of basketball and know what's the right way and and it changes. I've been involved in basketball since I was 21, so that's well over 30 years. So and it has changed a lot in those 30 years. So there's no point to be going out there with what I knew 30 years ago, because I would be teaching it wrong now if I was doing, and I know that.
Maybe not even 3 years ago it goes that quick.
Yeah.
But I think it is constant. Like, it's really important for yourself to have your own personal progression plan and upskilling. But I think it helps you with your athletes, and I do believe in shared information. So, like what we're doing now, I think if you have an idea and you can bring it to the forum and it can help another coach, it's absolutely brilliant, and vice versa. And I just really believe in kind of shared knowledge and, like, constant upskilling for yourself, but it will have a huge ripple effect on your athletes. It will have a huge ripple effect on other coaches that join your club and other volunteers as well that join your club. So it's really important, even if you step outside the kind of realm of your own sport, and find other courses. There's no such thing as a waste education or waste knowledge, and I think that's really important to bring into your club.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose, what did you do? The main, I suppose, barrier for coaches there in terms of upskilling at the minute, or why would you feel that some may not, or what would be a barrier that could be there at the minute? I know obviously time is always one that's a big...
Lack of confidence, I would say, is a huge one.
Lack of confidence.
I think lack of confidence. Or maybe in the opposite, you could probably say the juxtaposition that they're too confident. Some people might be too confident that don't think they need upskilling. So it could be either one of those. I know in our club we have a lot of people that are interested in coaching, so we have set up a separate Facebook page, and they have people who are interested in progressing as coaches have are on a Facebook page, and then we share different, if we see like Angie's session or the Special Olympics website has loads of different coaches sessions on it, and we share them to that at different times so people can tip in and out of them, or we see a course or some sort of, and at this stage there's so many people uploading stuff for free, so if we see any courses like that, like we have the Fingal Sports Association in this area, and we load them up into that Facebook page so they can tip in and out of that and upskill themselves through that, you know. So that's how we share all the information.
As we're mentioning, you know, sharing information is really important, and getting it out to all the coaches in the clubs, you know. People are sharing stuff for free now, and it's really good, and it's great to see. So we would hope. How do you guys think Special Olympics does in terms of helping the coach upskill and do get on those courses? Yeah, I suppose I was just saying, how do you guys think we do in terms of supporting coaches to upskill in your roles, you know?
Well, I know in my club we've got a lot of, like, you know, there's been a lot of different coaching courses on, and the Child Protect, the safeguarding courses and everything offered to us, and they come out regularly out to us by email, and we forward them on and try and get as many people as we can onto the courses. So we've always had ongoing courses that are on all the time, and they also let us know if the different national governing bodies like Athletics Ireland and all them are offering courses. We usually get an email out, so I know we have been informed of a lot of courses in the Eastern region anyway. So.
Likewise in Leinster, we're the same. We get an email with a list of courses coming up, and you know, it's a great help. And then we just email it on to all the volunteers. And,
yeah, I think some of the other things, sorry, that you're doing as well is the likes of doing some of the training yourselves. I'm a tutor for the young athletes as well, so I would be out there tutoring people, like the young athletes, and getting them out and involved and getting the club set up as well. So it's actually having in-house stuff with people who understand Special Olympics, because I think one of the barriers that maybe Special Olympics coaches have when you go to, let's say, an athletics qualification, it's very hard to try and think off the bat to adapt that to our athletes, whereas you have that experience sitting there with you, and I think that's a good thing for them too.
Yeah, absolutely, and I suppose that's something that comes up regularly enough, you know, with adapting what you're doing with the NGBs and their courses to suit your session in your club, and it's great to have, you know, tutors ourselves that can then have that experience and say, have you tried this, or have you tried this, or, you know, have materials there that could be shared afterwards, and all of that. So yeah, it's good. I know a lot of you guys are doing stuff in your clubs now online, obviously, the current situation. Could you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing, or how that came about?
Well, I started a table tennis skills course with the guys. I sent them out a spreadsheet, and they have to fill it in over 6 weeks to see how they're progressing with different skills, like bouncing the ball on the bat, those who are more capable switching the bat over and bouncing the ball that way, others putting a table up against the wall and hitting the ball, and see how many times they can do it, and they fill out the sheet. And I actually got a call from one of the parents yesterday to say it's the best thing ever. Emily is having a ball doing it, and every day she says to Mammy, time for skills. So so I don't think Mammy is too pleased because she has to keep stopping doing what she's doing, but it's working really well. So that's going really well. I also have sent out another for basketball to get them to do dribbling and shooting as well. So that's, I believe I'm getting good feedback from that as well. So that's going well. The other things we're doing is just to keep in contact, which is very important. We send out a text every week, just checking in on everybody. And also we do on Wednesdays and Thursdays we have Zoom quiz, scavenger hunts, fun nights, you know, and it's that's really good. That's working really well, and they're really enjoying that. So it's good. So yeah, so we're keeping busy.
Sorry?
Have a full week.
Full week, it's nothing changed. Yeah.
And what about the rest?
And we've,
Yeah.
sorry, we've, I've been in contact with all the athletes, and I just write down what they've been doing, and it's amazing how varied the exercise can be. We have one young lady who did a 10-kilometre run and a 10-kilometre cycle in the same day. She's at one end of the scale, and when I phone another parent, they say, oh, so-and-so's doing so well because they've got a new puppy, so they're out walking every day. And then there's the ones that are doing trampolining, and ones that have learned how to ride a bicycle, and ones learn how to ride a tricycle. And it's just all varied. And it's lovely because they're all getting sort of information about each other through Facebook, through a page we have on Facebook. And now they're interacting probably more than they did even when they were at club. And the other thing that we're doing in Munster is we're having So Let's Run. And that's going to be a 10-week program that we're launching next week, where we're trying to encourage everybody to just run a little bit more. There'll be 3 different levels, and it'll just go out and people will register for it, and they'll follow the program that we have. We've done a 10-week program for them, and then it'll culminate in a fun run, hopefully in September when we can get back to club. It will culminate in a fun run for the whole of Munster, and we'll be able to do anything up to a 5k run. So that's what we're working on at the moment in Munster.
Very good, Pauline. Yeah, excellent. And of course we have as well, you know, I'm sure, and some of you are heavily involved in our Together at Home program, which is there every week and to engage as many athletes as possible. How do you feel that's working for the athletes in the clubs, and is the engagement good there? And you know, what would you maybe like to see in it, or any thoughts?
I think for me, what I found about our athletes is that it's the routine that they wanted, which is why we decided to keep our times. Wednesday, 7 o'clock, we have them for a half hour and we do a live hit session with them on Facebook. We have put stuff out. There's been like video challenges and stuff, but they haven't engaged with that anywhere near as well as they do with the live stuff. So for me, it's about knowing your audience, and I think it's the routine. It's seeing the same people. Well, they see me, I'm talking into oblivion, but they can see me, and then I ask them to post us some pictures and videos of what they've been doing during the live session, and I complement that into one whole video and post it out a few days later for them to see. So it brings them back to the page and rethinking about it again. But I think it's having to know your audience and know what will engage well with them.
I think you're right there, Lee. I think especially with the older athletes, they want engagement. They want the social aspect that they had in their clubs, because that's hugely important to them. And whereas I think like with the young athletes, it was like when they came to me about it, I was like, listen, it's not going to be a live one. Do you know, that kind of, you have to have the ability to pause. You have to have the ability to kind of stop it and let them do it at their own pace as well. Do you know, that kind of way? So if they want to pause it and continue. So it is definitely about knowing your audience. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I suppose, there's things there might suit some athletes in your club, mightn't suit others as well. It's about trying to get balance. I suppose we probably have some clubs that might be finding it hard to think how they could engage with their athletes. What advice would you guys have for them in terms of starting that process, or what should they maybe do first, I suppose?
Well, we use social media an awful lot. So WhatsApp is our first kind of connection with. We'd go through the parents now, I suppose, and it's engaging the parents in WhatsApp. We do send out all the challenges every week put it together at home. And high enough percentage and come back, to take part in different ones. Some don't because they're working and they have, they have lots of things on and everything like that. So, but then what we did is we put that on our Facebook page. If they came back with any, we asked them to send in photographs of any of the children that were doing any sort of physical activity, no matter what it was. And once they saw other people doing stuff, we were getting pictures in of them learning how to ride their bikes, going for a run, going for a swim, whatever like that. We were getting them in from them. And that's how people commented on other people's pictures. So once they were seeing other things, they kind of engaged them to come on board and send them pictures of their child doing stuff, so.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that's worked for us, John, and in looking at stuff over the last number of weeks, trying to track everything to see what traction we are getting amongst our athletes, but definitely athletes seeing their teammates that they're so used to seeing every week, and they see them online doing something, it brings them back to, I know I'm in lockdown, I know I'm restricted, but they're not gone away. And I think that's very important for our athletes to know that their friends are still there and will be there when we return to club sessions again. I think that's really, really important. So definitely watching the stuff you're sharing from Newry up in Ulster, from racers, from Donabate, from the young athletes, from everyone that's sharing stuff. It's just an incredible, it's an incredible community that we've built across the 5 regions, and it's good to see that the regions are looking at other region stuff as well and commenting on it and connecting coaches that mightn't have seen each other since an Ireland Games or who were on a World Games team together. It's all really, really positive from our end as well. And did any of you have to look for support from Special Olympics, either from an Ireland level or regionally, or is there something else that we can be doing for you during this time when you're all doing so much?
It was difficult getting equipment. I had to order online because all our bats and balls and everything is locked up in the college that we usually have training. So I had to go and order another lot of table tennis bats and balls and a few other bits and pieces. So that was difficult. And I actually did think of, I wonder would Special Olympics have anything over in there I could run across. I only work around the corner. So that might have been a good idea if I had thought of it before I went important.
If there's room in your budget, Elaine, I'd like a new studio so I can have my front room back.
I think your front room is working out really, really well on Saturdays, and we only commandeer it for a couple of hours. So I think you'll probably survive this one, Angie.
Or I might put in requests to go on location. Do you know what I mean? Somewhere when lockdown is over, I think we could, pick a nice spot and go on location.
We definitely have a tranche of virtual backgrounds that we can give you. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think the equipment is obviously a challenge.
Yeah.
And has been and probably would continue to be. And ourselves and Elaine, we're looking at stuff, we're kind of saying how could this be done by athletes and coaches or whatever, in their garden or whatever. And it's really adapting as best we can. The reality is we can't go and raid the store with all the equipment is. So.
Yeah,
I know. I did do a video that I sent to my kids, and I used a frying pan and a small ball, and told them this will do just as well. But I did ask them to check with the chef first to make sure it was okay.
I've done that as well. Actually, I've gone around the house and I've kind of looked at an object and said, if I didn't have this, how would I do it? Do you know what I mean? And come up. So I was making rice bags. Putting rice in sandwich bags to make them as bean bags for bounce, and putting flowers and balloons and making ribbon balls and making all sorts. So I didn't go to the extreme of getting a frying pan, Mary, but I might incorporate that in.
Actually, and one of the parents came back to me and said they have a problem with their wrist now because it was an iron frying pan, but I did specify a light one.
I think that's the thing.
Sorry, Lee, go ahead.
It's how inventive everyone has been. We've been throwing socks as javelins or as tennis balls around the house, and it's seeing the creativeness out of people, and that maybe we don't need to spend a huge amount of money in club always on equipment. Maybe there is more creative ways to be doing things like this, and fun. The athletes loved it.
Yeah, it's certainly been a huge learning for all of us, I think, in terms of the creativity that it brings and how adaptable you all are, obviously, through from your own education in the coaching field, like you've certainly adapted to this virtual living, for want of a better word, and definitely the virtual sessions are going down a treat. I suppose, are there any tips you'd give to young coaches starting out in Special Olympics Ireland? Say, come September, October, when we're all back and we have hopefully a big tranche of new volunteers and young coaches trying to get into Special Olympics. Have you any tips or advice you'd give to them?
Come along and join in, because it's the most wonderful experience you'll ever have in your life, working with our athletes. They're just incredible.
Yeah, if you ever come to Special Olympics, you'll never leave.
Yeah.
There's nobody I know. There's no volunteer that I know that has come to Special Olympics and left.
Nobody gets out.
I think what you want to say, Ellie, is that nobody wants to get out, is it?
Yeah. I think it's
No,
on the internet.
no one
over
gets
there.
You can check in, but you can't leave. Is that right?
No checkouts if we can all avoid it.
I think for me, I would tell them. Sorry, go ahead, Angie.
No, I was going to say, I always say, if in doubt, shout. Not every one of us has the answer. And if you're worried about something, it's back to this shared knowledge. I found that, like, as a coach, you are a resource, but you do need to rely on the resources that are available to you. So that's your more experienced coaches. Do you know, that kind of way? Like, I never did anything like Abu Dhabi before, on that scale. So, like, I kind of jumped in with 2 feet, a lot of naivety, and relied on experienced coaches like Lee. I don't know whether she was happy with it or not, but I'd be just like, okay, let's do this. You can't do that. Okay, what can we do? But it's all a learning curve, and I think, if you're in doubt, shout, because no one is going to kind of put you down for doing your best. Do you know, that kind of way? And we all learn kind of on the job and as we go, and every experience is brilliant, but it's unique and it's different.
I think I would say that I've had the privilege of being able to see an athlete I've coached at World Games getting a gold medal, but I've also had the privilege of seeing an athlete that I've worked with for 2 or 3 years and trying to get them to land with their feet together and bend their knees, and finally see them get that achievement. So for me, I think I would just tell them just to take every achievement and just enjoy it.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, when you coach mainstream, you have, like, with the gymnastics, you're always kind of reaching a certain level and stuff, and that's what I love about Special Olympics. Is, like, it took us 5 years to get one athlete to walk on the high beam. You know, that kind of, and every week it was like this small little progression to we literally got her walking across the high beam. It took us 4 years nearly, and that was just an amazing achievement. You know, that kind of way. And that's what I kind of enjoy about it, is like little achievements can be celebrated just as much as the gold medals. You know, it's brilliant.
I think that's one thing that Special Olympics does really, really well. It's taking that focus away from the medal winners, because good athletes will always be good athletes, and they'll always achieve. But other athletes need to be celebrated for the small things, because that means so much more to them at times. I think you're dead right. Yeah. I suppose finally, have any of you any key messages or any shout outs that you want to give to your own clubs and your athletes?
I actually have to give a shout out to my club, because they got a call on a Tuesday night, or they got a message in a WhatsApp group. Hey, do you fancy doing a couple of videos for me? And it ended up being a 10-week series. But they're brilliant. It's all my little athletes that do my videos for me every week. Because it is tough, and to the parents, because it's really tough, because I'd be giving the team a throwing and the athlete, they're only 4 and 5, and they'll be like, no, I'm finished throwing, I want kicking, and they're all, bribing them with Angie wants just throwing, or Angie wants something. So I do have to say to the Special Olympics young athletes, the Galway club, they are absolutely fantastic. Like, any mad idea I have, they jump on board, and I get great videos out of them. And I love on a Saturday, I get the videos of the athletes watching themselves on telly, and they get so excited, and the reactions they have as seeing themselves and, seeing their friends and all the rest. So big shout out to them.
Brilliant. Lee, have you any messages for your guys?
Just that I'm super proud of them, of how they're doing, how they're adapting, and just keeping good for their parents.
Yeah, I think one of your guys last week, when we asked him how he was getting on, his thing was, it's tough, but I'm getting on with it. And I'm doing a lot more around the house than I normally would have done. So obviously, there for Deborah, do you have anything for your guys?
Oh, hello everybody, and I miss every single one of you in Donabate and Portrand Special Olympics Club, and I so look forward to seeing you again, and we're going to have the biggest party ever when this is over. We're going to have lots and lots of fun with all the volunteers, and I'm dying to see you all again.
Well, talking about parties, I know there's one club that are absolutely experts at that, and Mary's laughing already. Messages for all the guys in Navan.
We learned from the best.
Absolutely. Again, like all the other guys, I'm just so proud of all our guys who are keeping up their training, and anything that's sent to them, they're doing their best and working really hard from home. And thanks to the parents who are also helping, because it's quite difficult, especially if they weren't involved before. It's actually, this may be a good thing. We may end up with a few more volunteers, hopefully. That's what I'm hoping at the end of it. Like Deborah, I miss them all so much and can't wait till we're together again for that big party that we're going to have. Absolutely.
Yay! Have you any messages for all the guys in Nina?
Yeah, all of the athletes at Ormond Club, I've missed them so much, because I had to go to the UK for 4 months, and I didn't get back until middle of March. So I've missed them up till then, and then I was thinking I'd be coming back to club, and of course everything got closed down. So some of them I haven't seen them physically, haven't seen them for about 4.5 months, 5 months now. And I'm just so proud of how they've been with the other coaches while I've been away, and so proud of what they're all doing during this time of lockdown. Every single one of them that I've spoken to, they've been doing something, and something is better than nothing. And I just hope now that they're all looking forward to doing the So Let's Run. And in September, we will all have the biggest family fun day to do the 0 to 5K, and we will be celebrating afterwards. So keep up the good work, everybody in Ormond Club.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I think it's sorry, Lynn, I just think it's a huge testament to our athletes, that all the challenges they face, and how well they cope, and how each challenge they can kind of stand up, and they can be counted, they can be heard, and they rise to every occasion. And this is just another prime example of like how awe-inspiring our athletes are, and how it is a privilege to work with them. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I know when this kind of first started, I went a bit patty, and I was like, do you know what I mean? But they'd make you get up and do it. You know, that kind of way. Well, possibly not 5K. I'm not. I think I'll. I don't think I'll do a 5K. But do you know what I mean?
Up to 5K.
What?
Up to 5K. You can pick anything in between.
Oh, I'll stick at 0.05.
No, listen, from our perspective in Special Olympics Ireland, I mean, the 5 of you are, I suppose, what's good about Special Olympics, outside of our athletes, which are obviously our main focus all the time, it's you guys that enable them to be as good as they are. You know, the experience that you bring to them, the enthusiasm, and the obvious affection and love you have for our athletes is obvious on the screen here to me. I'm sure it's the same for you, John. So from Special Olympics Ireland, I thank you all very, very much. I wish you all well in phase 1 of the easement of restrictions. I think, Lee, you're getting close to that up there as well.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Good garden centres.
Yeah.
I know. I'm off to B&Q.
You're off to B, and then you're going to Q.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.